A is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our program Learning Arabic. This is probably the first episode for learning Arabic language. As everyone knows, today Arabic is considered as very important, very significant language. According to United Nations statistics, it's considered among the top 6 languages. And we have today more than 300 million people speak Arabic language. Not only in the Middle East, but you can find a lot of people who speak Arabic language in Asia, Europe, North America, and in South America. That means that Arabic actually is connected with the Islamic religious background. And if you asked me why, I would tell you that is because we have Holy Quran is in Arabic language. And of course, you can find a lot of non-Middle Eastern peoples that can speak also Arabic language. And if you would like to make comparison between Arabic and English, you can find that there is a lot of similarities, but also you can find a lot of differences between both. According to the most important linguists, Arabic is classified in the category of Persian. Well, it's actually classified in the category of Semitic languages. So that also includes Persian, Turkish, and Hebrew. One important feature that can be found in Arabic is that in Arabic we start writing from right to left, something that's probably may not be found in European languages like English. In English, French, Italian, we start writing from left to right, not from right to left. Something like that probably can be found and very clear in the Semitic languages. Also, we can find a lot of emphatic sounds that probably may not be found in other languages. And as I said before, if you'd like to learn Arabic, that means that you will learn also more about the Middle Eastern culture, religious backgrounds, and you can discover more about the values of different languages. I would like, first of all, just here to present all my guests today, Mustafa, my dear friend Usama, and Talha and Muhammad. Welcome to all of you to my program. And here's the first question that I would like to ask you. I know that all of you are bilingual, and you speak both languages, Arabic and English. Usama, how do you see the differences between English and Arabic when it comes to the linguistic variations between both sides?
Yeah, well, actually, Ahmed, as you have said, that the Arabic language ranks the 6th in the world's language table of languages.
Yep.
Within about 186 million native Arabic speakers. It belongs, as you have said also, that to the Semitic family of languages, and that is why it abounds with so many differences that cannot be found in any other language.
Yep.
The Arabic language also have some sounds and letters that also do not exist in any other language. We have also the sounds ha, gha, qaf, which may constitute problems and obstacles for those who want to learn the Arabic language.
I think you are absolutely correct about that. I still remember when I was in the U.S., because I was teaching Arabic actually in State University of New York, I found that there is a lot of people who probably cannot pronounce my name, Ahmed, correctly because of ha. Yep.
Also, we have structurally, on the structural level also, we found that the Arabic language begins with a subject, then a verb, and then we have an object.
Yep.
Unlike the English or many foreign languages that begin with a verb, a subject and a verb and an object.
Yep.
Okay. So, but even so, Ahmed, I find that learning Arabic is so easy and simple, but it just takes time and the practice, and that is why I'm here today with you.
Yeah, you know, Sam, also a very important point here. I met a lot of people actually in the U.S. telling me before, you know, it's impossible to learn a language that starts from right to left. We can't imagine that. And I told them, well, in China, you can find the Chinese language starts from top to down, top bottom.
Yeah.
And something like that could happen in Indian languages. But I think I agree with you about this point. People today, especially in the West, have misconceptions about Arabic. They consider that this is a very complicated language. And I think I agree with you about this point. But I think now, when it comes to the characteristics of Arabic language, I think that is we will have here special characteristics of the writing system of Arabic.
Yeah.
And as you see here,
I have a question here on this point about the writing system or the orthography system in the language.
Okay.
I found that in the English language, sometimes we have more than one way for representing a single speech sound.
Yeah, that's true.
For example, we have the sound fa. which
Yeah.
may be written in 3 different ways in the English language.
Exactly.
It can be written fa as in fabulous or favor.
Yep.
It can be written bh
Yep.
as in photographer or photo.
Yep.
Or gh as in enough. So are there any such characteristics in the Arabic pronunciation or in the orthography system of the language?
Well, thank you, Sama, for asking me such a question. I think that is very important, and I'm going to mention something like that here. That is one of the distinctive features that you can find in Arabic language is that you can find just one letter for one sound. So such a feature, such a linguistic and phonological feature, which probably can be found in English, may not be found in Arabic. And I think we can discuss more about that. Here is the first characteristic of the writing system in Arabic. Arabic is written from right to left. When reading, we start at the opposite direction from European and American materials. I think that is in such a way. If you would like to read any Arabic paper, then you start from the right side to the left side. Can you see that here? Like, for example, so when we start writing any letter in Arabic, we start from this part. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Stuff like that. But actually, we cannot, for example, write the letter from this side, from the left to the right side.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
That's
Right. I think that this is probably the most important characteristic that can be found in the writing system of Arabic. Now, another important point here is that letters are connected in both print and handwriting. Unlike European alphabets, they are connected only in handwriting. I think that is very important also. Because in Arabic, when you write in a letter, by the way, we did not discuss so far the alphabets in Arabic. We're just making our introduction for that part of the episode. But when it comes to writing Arabic, most of the letters are connected and combined together. And actually, that can happen actually in the printing materials and in the handwriting. Something like that probably, if you make comparison with English. In English, you cannot find that the letters are connected in the printing.
Yeah.
You can have any newspaper and write the word that will write all the words in the newspaper. Then you can find that the letters are disconnected; they are not combined together. But in Arabic, all of them are connected together. Can you see that? Okay, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Now the third point here is letters have slightly different shapes, but in some European languages they are clearly different, like R when it is written actually in small form and in the capital form. That is another distinctive feature that can be found in Arabic.
Yeah.
As you know that in English we have capital letters and also we have small letters.
Yeah.
Right. But something like that may not be found in Arabic. Let me just explain that to you. Here, for example, if you'd like to learn the sound like Ra. This is the letter in Arabic. Ra. Can you see that? Okay. Now, if you just make a similarity with this sound with the other sounds in English, you can find R.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Okay. But if you'd like to write R in English, you write that in this form. Sometimes also you write that in this form, the capital form.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
What do you mean here that in Arabic we don't have a lowercase or an uppercase letters?
Exactly. That's
what you
probably
want
could
to
be a
say.
computational term. Something like that is absolutely correct.
Yeah, okay.
So can you see that? In Arabic, we don't have capital letters, we don't have small letters.
Yeah.
But we just have one form for the letters.
As for the capitalized letters, Ahmed,
Yep.
are there any function for them?
Well, generally speaking, we don't have any function for that. But that is probably could be important in English. Can you see that? Okay. If you like to write any sentence in English, you must start the first letter in the first word with a capitalized form. Is that correct, Talha?
Yes.
Yep. But in Arabic, we don't have capitalized form. So in English, it does have a linguistic function. You know why? Because when you start the first letter as a capitalized form in English, that means it actually comes at the beginning of the sentence. But we don't have that in Arabic. So that's probably, can you see now the differences between, for example, Arabic as a Semitic language and European languages, like for example English?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Do you have any other questions? Okay. Now let's move on here. The fourth point is letters occurs in initial, medial, and final positions with independent shape. Oh, I think that's very interesting. If you would like to learn Arabic alphabets, then we have to define the alphabet in the initial form and in the medial form and in the final position. So we have 3 positions. And you can find a lot of alphabets that probably could be connected in the initial position, in the medial position, but maybe disconnected in the final position. Let me just give you an example here. Can you see that? Ab. Father. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So you see here that the ba is disconnected.
Yeah,
It's not connected with the previous letter.
Yeah.
But if you say, for example, bab, can you see ba here? It's connected.
Yeah.
It comes in the initial position of the word and it's connected. But sometimes it comes disconnected when it comes, for example, in the final position here.
Yeah.
So something like that probably could be considered also as a characteristic of the Arabic language. Any more questions, please? Yep. Okay. Now let's move on here to another slide that we have here today. Characteristics of Arabic pronunciation.
Yeah, please.
Yep.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Usama.
Yeah, as you know, the English language or differences of accent in the English language are mainly due to the differences in the pronunciation of vowels.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
consonants are spoken or are pronounced the same way whenever English is spoken.
Okay.
So what about Arabic concerning this issue?
Oh, Osama, you touched a very sensitive nerve here. Because actually one of the major differences between Arabic and English is the style of vowels. And actually you can find in Arabic a lot of consonants that probably can be similar to the consonants in English. Let me just give you an example. You can find the alphabet ta.
Yeah.
Alif, ba, ta. So this is ta as the alphabet. But when you pronounce it, we say ta. And of course, there is a difference between the alphabet as a letter and as a sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, does this sound also available in English? Yep. It's found in English.
Yeah.
We have A, B, C, S, T. T. We have T. It's very close, actually, to T
Yeah.
in English, right? But on the other hand, you can find, for example, some letters in Arabic that may not be available in English. But very important point here that I have to explain to all of you. The variations of the vowels in Arabic probably reflects where are you from.
Yeah.
Yep. So for example, you can find in the Gulf area, in the Gulf countries, they pronounce the first alphabet, which is Alif, which pronounced A. Sometimes they pronounce it as A. So they say for father, Al-Walid. But here in Egypt, for example, we say Al-Walid. So actually, the variation, the differences in producing the vowel probably reflects the place where you are coming from.
Yeah.
Here we go. But when it comes to consonants, I think that consonants, all of them have to be pronounced in the same way, in the same form.
Yeah.
So we don't have any variations when it comes to consonants. We do have variation just in vowels.
In vowels.
And actually, as everyone knows, that in English, for example, you can find short vowels. We have, again, also the long vowels.
Yeah. We have
And in
diphthongs.
Arabic, yep.
Yeah, we have diphthongs also.
Right. In
Yes.
Arabic also, we do have the same. Because a lot of linguists said before that in Arabic, we don't have vowels. That is not true.
Yeah.
In Arabic also, we have short vowels, and we do have also long vowels.
Yeah.
Probably also we have diphthongs or gemination, as we can discuss this point later.
Yeah.
But back to your question, Sam, I think in such a way you can find variation in vowels, but not variations in consonants. You can find differences in vowels, and such difference actually reflects where are you coming from.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So, please, Ahmed,
Yep.
in learning English,
Yep.
I have dictionaries
Yep.
that tells me the pronunciation, how to pronounce such a word.
Yep.
Are there any dictionaries for pronouncing or for the transcription of the Arabic letters?
Interesting. I think yes, we do have. And that's called actually transliteration for the Arabic alphabets.
Yeah.
And you can find it depends on the dictionary. As you have in English, for example, you have transcription for the words in English.
Yeah.
And it depends also on the style of transcription that can be found in English dictionaries. It's also the same that can be found in Arabic. So in Arabic, we do have transliteration for the Arabic alphabets. All the letters in Arabic alphabets actually we can find transliteration in different Arabic dictionaries. It's something that should be available. And I think you can find that probably in the first pages of any dictionary in Arabic language.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any more question?
Oh, thanks.
Okay, let's move on here. Now, we were talking about the characteristics of writing in Arabic. And that's probably, as you can see, that the writing system in Arabic is very distinctive. But when it comes to the characteristics of Arabic pronunciation, I think also you can find a lot of distinctive features that probably distinguish Arabic from other different languages. I think we can discuss more about that, but after taking a break, we're going to have a break, and after that, we'll be right back. Stay tuned and don't leave. welcome after the break. I think that we discussed in the previous part the characteristics of writing, of the writing system in Arabic. But I think when it comes in pronunciation, I think also we have to stop and rethink again about the distinctive features that probably distinguish Arabic from other different languages. I think that we do have questions here.
Yes, I have a question, Ustad Ahmed. What are the general features of the Arabic pronunciation?
Interesting, Talha. I think one of the major points that we can read here in the slides, Arabic has one-to-one correspondence sound and letter, whereas English spelling often uses one letter or a combination of letters to represent different sounds, like tha in think and tha in those. Let me just put that in a simple way. In Arabic, we do have just one letter for one sound. We have the letter ba, so we pronounce it ba. We have the letter ta, so we pronounce it ta.
Yeah.
Again, that there is a difference between letter and sound. Please, don't be confused about the two sides.
Yeah.
So in Arabic, we have, for example, ta, and we pronounce it as ta. Can you do that? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can say, for example, jim, and I pronounce it as j.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the name of the letter in Arabic is jim, but it's not pronounced jim. The sound is j. Can you see that? Okay, we're going to discuss more about that. But something like that probably is not found in English. In English, you can find, for example, that one letter probably represents two sounds. Let me just put that here. Here is it. Can you see that? That is T-H.
Yeah.
Right. And in English, you can find, for example, here, you can say think,
Yeah.
and also you can say those. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have just one letter here, and it's representing two sounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I think it's vice versa.
Well, I think, Usama, here is the point that is, English generally, you can find a lot of words in such a way.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find, for example, PH is pronounced, as you said before, fa, and also you can find GH as fa, and you can find also the letter F.
Yeah.
But in Arabic, we don't have that at all. When we produce, for example, the sound, the letter ba, so we have ba. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that this is probably one of the interesting parts in Arabic pronunciation system, which is every sound actually represents just one letter.
Just one.
Okay. Any more questions, please, before we're moving on to the other slides?
Thanks.
Okay. Now let's move on here to the following slide. The Arabic writing system is regularly phonetic, which means that words are generally written as they are pronounced. No silent letters as in any other languages. Very important here.
Yeah.
In English, for example, you can find the word knife.
Yeah.
Knife. It's a tool which is used in the kitchen for cutting the
Yeah.
food and all the food stuff. Okay.
Begins with a K sound.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Can you see that, Sam?
Yeah.
So how many letters do we have in this English word? 1,
Yeah.
4,
Two.
2,
Yes,
1,
we have
2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Yeah.
We have 5 letters.
Yes.
But how many sounds do we pronounce in this word? Let me just write, if I can write
4.
the
Yeah,
transcription. Right.
just-
Here it
Yeah.
is. This is the Latin transcription for the
Yeah.
word knife.
Yes.
Okay. Can you count how many sounds do we have here in this word?
Yeah.
Here it is.
We have 2 for 3.
1,
1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
2 consonants and 1 vowel.
You touched the main point here.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you see that in English? That we have the word here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Okay. So K here is not pronounced. E here is not pronounced.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is in English. In Arabic, we don't have that at all. So in Arabic, the words which are written are pronounced.
Yeah.
It's a very simple equation. We don't have a lot of arguments about this rule in Arabic pronunciation system. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have any question about that?
Oh.
Okay. Now let's move on here. Number C. In general, Arabic sounds are a wider range of mouth and throat positions than English. Do you understand this point?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, let me just explain that
Okay.
to you. In Arabic, we discussed before that in Arabic we have emphatic sounds like ha,
Yeah.
kha, ta. Such sounds are not found in English. That's true. Okay. But in Arabic also I can say ba, ta, ka, and qa.
Yeah.
Yes.
So ba as a letter,
Yes.
ta as a letter, kaf as a letter,
Yeah.
and qaf as a letter. Okay.
Yes. They may have counterparts in the English.
Oh,
Yeah, ta. We may have
Yeah.
counterparts and sounds in the English language.
exactly. Hussein.
That equal
So we
to
can
this.
find that in English.
Yeah.
But I have another point here, which is ta is found in English,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Ka is found in English,
Exactly.
and ba is found in English. But how about qa?
No.
It's not found in English.
Yeah, it's not found. Yeah.
Well, I think we can discuss more about qa in the following episodes, but in a very quick note, qa is described phonetically as a uvular sound.
Yeah.
And uvular means that the final part of your soft palate is used for producing such sound,
Yeah.
Yes.
which is called qa. Of course, qa is different from ka.
Yeah.
Ka is in English, that's true, but qa it's not in English. So if you can find, if you just have a wider outlook for the sounds in Arabic, you can find that some sounds are produced in the frontal side of the oral cavity, like ta. I put the tip of the tongue against the alveolar ridge.
Yeah.
Okay? Also, I can say ka. So the sound here is not produced from the frontal side, it's produced from the back side
Yeah.
of the oral cavity.
Oral cavity.
That's true. But we also have ayn, ah. It's a very difficult sound. I know that in Arabic.
Yeah.
But, so can you see ah? This sound actually, well, it's a surgical operation happening in our
Yeah.
mouth, oral cavity in order to explain the sound. But this sound is described as a pharyngeal sound. That means that we have construction of the muscles of the pharynx here in order to produce the sound. So can you repeat the sound again, please? Ayn.
I.
Right, okay. So if you would like to produce such a sound, you can find here, we are exerting much more muscular effort for producing the sound. Okay. Not only that, but also we have the state of voicing of the vocal flaps here at the larynx.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, I'm just explaining that to you because I want to reach to one important conclusion here. That in Arabic you can find the frontal sounds, you can find the soft palate sounds, you can find the pharyngeal sounds here.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why in Arabic we are employing every side of our mouth in order to produce all the sounds.
Yeah.
Here is the main point here. Let me just get back again to the previous slide. Here is it. Arabic sounds are a wider range of mouth and throat positions than English. Because in English you can pronounce, for example, ka,
Yeah.
which is a velar sound, but it's not a uvular sound. I think that in the following episodes, I can show you the organ speech system in order to explain what is the meaning of velar and uvular and so on.
Yeah.
But, so in English we have limited capacity for pronouncing the sounds. In Arabic you can find, well, you should actually exert more muscular efforts in order to produce such sounds.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so I think that this is the main point here for such a slide. So do you have any question, please? I used to have all the questions from you. Please ask me any question you have about Arabic pronunciation system.
Oh,
Are you done?
thanks.
All set. Okay. Now let's move on here. Oh. Now we are putting our foot in the practical way of learning Arabic alphabets. In Arabic, generally, we have 28 alphabets. How many letters do we have? How many alphabets do we have in English?
Yeah.
I don't know. How many alphabets do we have in English? I don't know. You are bilingual, of course. You are a professional linguist. You should know more about that. But the first alphabet here in Arabic is called Alif. Can you see it? Can you repeat it?
Yeah.
Alif.
Alif.
Okay. Well, but this is the name of the alphabet. It's not the sound. When we produce this sound, we say A. A.
Yeah.
Can you see this?
A.
Can you repeat it again?
A.
Right. Okay. Is that a vowel or a consonant?
Oh, it's a vowel.
It's a vowel.
Yeah,
right.
it's a vowel.
Is that similar to any other sound that can be found in English?
Yeah.
What is that sound, please? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it can be A,
Okay.
as in father, or A.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why we say the name is Alif, and they use phonetic transcription similar to English alphabet in apple, as in father. And the first letter Alif, oh, here is the point. If you would like to write this sound, so first of all, let me just move on here quickly to the variations of this alphabet. Yes. Before moving on, how can we write it? We should learn, of course, how can we write such alphabet, and also how can we pronounce it. But
So we have,
Yes.
please have a question here.
yeah, Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, this question is there or differences between classical Arabic and the colloquial speech of daily intercourse in pronouncing this letter?
Absolutely yes.
Yeah.
You can find, for example, well, listen. I've been in Kuwait.
Yeah.
I've been in Qatar and in Saudi Arabia and in Sudan. I visited different countries. And I found that when they pronounce the letter A, in Saudi Arabia, for example, say ah.
Yeah.
But in Egypt, we say A. And in Sudan, you can find another different accent. And because this is a vowel, it's not a consonant, you can find different dialects based on the variation of this vowel. And I said before, that the variations of the slang or the variations of pronunciation is based on the structure system of vowels in Arabic.
Yeah.
It's not about consonants, by the way. So you can find that A is pronounced as A in Egypt, it's pronounced as A in the Gulf area. But when it comes to the consonant Ba, it's pronounced Ba in different countries. It's the same pronunciation system for Ba, but it's not the same for vowel A. You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
So,
Gotcha.
here is the point to some. So in eastern regions of the Arab world, the sound of Alif is generally deeper, closer to A in father, as you said now, Sam.
Yeah.
While in North Africa, like in Egypt or in Tunisia, Morocco, it tends to be frontal, closer to Bad. Can you see that? So now I can tell you here that, can you see the differences between father and Bad? Father, A, and Bad.
Yeah.
Here we go. So I have a very quick note here. Can we find variations for a lot of vowels in Arabic? My answer is yes. Okay. So I think that we can discuss more about that. But in the following episodes, ladies and gentlemen, my dear viewers, I think probably this is the first part of learning Arabic, and we will be, in the following episodes, discussing more about the Arabic alphabets. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A is for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for Tawwab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatam, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.